Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sassy Kitchenista. It's another Sunday down here in South Jersey, and I thought today that I would talk to you about my favorite fruit, which are watermelon. A good summer watermelon to me is refreshing, it's high in vitamin A, it's heavy in water content, so it kind of quenches your thirst. And there are lots of versatile things you can do with watermelon besides just slice it up and eat it. Why? I thought I'd show you a couple of things you can do with fresh watermelon that just might kind of get you into the spirit of getting ready for summer, because we're actually in the last week of spring. The official start of the summer season starts next Saturday on the 20th. So I think next Saturday is the 20th. Yes.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do first is we're going to grab our watermelon. Whoosh! And it's a nice dark green. I prefer a deeper green. I think usually it gives me a sweeter texture, but you know, it's one of those things, who's to know, right? So I'm going to take my 10-inch chef's knife, because you need a strong knife to cut into this rind.
Debbie is watching. Debbie Purnell.
Hey Debbie. And so we're just going to press and let the knife do the work of slicing your baby nicely in half. You use your hands, break it open, and then we got a nice piece of watermelon. I'm going to just quickly, I like to go into the center to just see what I'm dealing with. Oh, that's good. I'm going to step out of frame for a minute.
Justin is watching.
Hey, Justin! Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, come on, recipe. And you'll see this week I didn't post the recipes because the way you do it is really simple, so hopefully you can follow along, but if for some reason you want the recipe, I'm happy to go ahead and send it to you. So the first thing we're going to do is a bruschetta, which is really a small little bite that typically has either some sort of salsa or tomato relish or some sort of cheese. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get some finely chopped watermelon.
Justin said, watch your fingers.
I'm going to watch my fingers, Justin. And hopefully nothing will be cut off and I'm good to go. There are lots of folks that will tell you how to cut a watermelon. You cut the watermelon however it works for you to cut and get the meat out. Some people really like to kind of eat down to the white meat of the rind or pickle the rinds. That's not me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out some of this meat. And for this recipe, I need a finely chopped watermelon. So I'm just going to cut it down, use the knife, and make it really small, because bruschetta pieces are very small, so big chunks of watermelon will not work in this particular recipe. So we're going to make it nice. If you can see that, just nice, and you know, maybe this is maybe a 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to kind of do that. So I want it chopped, but I don't want it minced, right? Because then it's watermelon juice, which is while it's wonderful, that's not what you want for this particular recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up a little bit more of these and get them in the bowl. Push, and then we're good to go. So let's put this on the side. Let's
sweet.
put this one on the side for a bit. And then clean off our workstation, because you need this space. And watermelon, it's like I told you earlier, because it has a heavy water content, it can start dripping over things. And watermelon is notorious for being hard to get out of clothing. It's not impossible, but it's a bit difficult. So we have our watermelon, and then we're going to make our cheese sauce or our cheese spread. We're just using a little bit of ricotta. I'm going to throw that into the KitchenAid, and I'm also going to add in some feta cheese. Feta cheese works really well with the sweetness of watermelon. It's a nice soft texture, and we're just going to whip these two together really quickly. All right, I need to wipe my hands off here. We're going to whip it for about a minute to just get a nice little spread to it. Ooh, looks nice. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Yes, yes. Oh, you're my friend. And I'm going to get a little bowl to put it in. I have a bowl. Nice. up a little. And then we're done. This is something really nice. If you're having company over and you want to give them something that's easy breezy for you to make and has a really nice texture and a flavor, I highly recommend any one of the varieties of bruschetta. You can use any kind of bread, and I'll show you what I'm using.
Kara says hello.
Who?
Kara.
Hi, Kara. All right. So I'm going to put this in just a bowl because I want to spread it onto our bread. All right. So the bread that typically is used for bruschetta is a Italian bread, but you can use French bread. You just want something with a nice crust to it to kind of make your bruschetta. What I did is I picked up a loaf just from the supermarket this morning. You know, a nice little long loaf of Italian bread. You want bruschetta to be crispy, so you want to toast it. You can put it in the oven and on about 400 degrees, cook it for 10 or 15 minutes till it gets a nice little crisp to it, or you can cook it in the pan in olive oil. You don't want to deep fry your bread, but a little olive oil on it gives it a nice crisp without turning the oven on. And then we are ready to start putting our bruschetta together.
Justin
Right?
said that's a nice mixer.
Thank you. So the way we put this together is really simple. Let me just tell you what I did for my balsamic glaze. I just picked up some balsamic vinegar, right, from the supermarket. This one I got from the Marshalls. You can get really nice varieties from the Marshalls, pretty cheap, or you can just go grab something in the supermarket. I took a cup of the vinegar and 3 tablespoons of honey, and I put it in a pan and reduced it down by half. It takes about 20 minutes. You put it on high, bring it to a boil, be careful because it'll boil over, and then reduce it to a simmer until you get something that looks like this. You want that syrup consistency. And it intensifies the flavor and gives you a nice, even, ooh, you want to taste, Sierra? Sierra's filming, she doesn't want to taste. And adds just that little piece of acid to your bruschetta. So what we do is we take a little bit of our cheese mixture, put it on, right? We take a little bit, I need a spoon for this. A little bit of our watermelon, and we put that on top.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm going to put this down because I'm also going to add a little sprig of chive.
Kara said that glaze has a nice color to it.
It sure does. I'm going to add a little bit of chive, so I'm going to make a couple before I do the drizzle.
Is it possible to burn your reduction?
It
or
is
is
absolutely possible, my friends, because I burned the first one. It is absolutely possible. It's one of those things, you don't have to watch it all the time, but you need to make sure you watch it until it comes to that boil, and then reduce it down and make sure it's just simmering, it's not boiling, because it can happen really quickly. And then you just kind of stir until you see that consistency. Take it off and let it sit. And you can make this glaze at any time and keep it in the refrigerator. It lasts, you know, a couple of months. Just keep it, cover it with plastic or put it in a container of some sort, and then throw it over, well, you can throw balsamic glaze over everything, but it works really great over shrimp or over chicken, where you want to just pump up the flavor a little bit more. All right, so we add our fresh watermelon. Ooh.
Now, should this dish be refrigerated before you serve it? Like if you're holding it for a party or a cookout?
No,
or
this is definitely one of those things that you want to make and serve pretty much immediately. And it's also one of those things, if you're having friends over, have them help you make it, right? Get all your ingredients together. And you can also, if you want to, you can add a little shredded chicken to this, a little shrimp, something like that if you want to add to the flavor, or you just want to add some extra protein. All right, so once we have this done, we're going to just take our glaze, and you do this sparingly. This is not a dipping sauce, my friends. It is simply a glaze. So I just kind of grab it on the spoon, and then I let it do its thing, right? You just want to gently put a couple of drops on. You know, if you want to do it drop by drop, that's fine. If you want to do it and make a little design of some sort. And that's it. Whoa! Without spilling it.
Nina Renee is watching.
Well, hello, pumpkin. What is this? I'm making an error here.
Justin said, Sierra, you of all people would know it's very possible to burn anything.
And this is your watermelon bruschetta. Nice summer thing. Munch on them all afternoon. Dakota,
You want to do
try
it?
one?
Go. You have to go in front of the camera if you want to
Come on
taste
here.
it.
So my younger son, Dakota, is with us today. You want to give it a shot? Tell us what you think, please. All right. And you just gotta toss it in. It could be. It should really be 1 or 2 bites.
Mmm. The cheese goes so good with this.
Oh, look at you.
All right, off camera.
All right, and
Good
he's
luck.
taking the container. All right, the second, then that's it for that recipe. The second recipe I'm going to show you is going to be just as good
The cheese.
and just as easy breezy to make. We are making a spicy shrimp and watermelon bite. I'm calling them bites because these are all one-shot deals. So with this one, I don't need smaller chunks of watermelon. I need larger chunks. All right, so I'm gonna go and make them about an inch or so thick and throw them into the bowl. And I'll show you in a second why I need them a little bit thicker. All right, I'm gonna cut some more watermelon up. I'm actually so glad I'm not using all of the watermelon because once I say goodbye to all of you, I can sit comfortably in the wonderful Sunday sun.
Dennis Chan is watching.
Hey, Dennis! Oh, my California connection. And into the bowl it goes, patiently waiting for what I'm going to do next. And what I'm going to do next is saute up some shrimp. All right, so I'm going to move this bruschetta out of the way and put that there, and I'm going to move this. So I have a pan heating up so I can quickly saute shrimp. One thing I love about shrimp is that it takes essentially 5 seconds for them to cook up. So you can whip up something pretty easy and be ready to go to the table shortly. So what I did is I picked up some large shrimp and I just marinated them in a little Old Bay, a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, and that's it. I just wanted, I did put on a little Sazon.
Saison.
Sazon, which I think goes with damn near everything. But it is high in salt, so you want to kind of go sparingly with it. All right, so add a little bit of that on.
Linda Manning is watching.
Hey, Linda. Carlisle is in the house. This is good to know. So I'm just going to put, 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. Be careful when you're deciding what oil you're going to cook with because some oils have a lower flash point than other oils. So something that's light like olive oil, it doesn't take as much heat for it to heat up as something heavier like vegetable oil does. So you want to just watch it really carefully because you just want to quick cook all of this. And I usually put my hand over to tell me if I'm ready to rock and roll, although I don't recommend that to everybody. Because there have been moments that I have actually tried that and it's been a little higher than I thought it was going to be. So I can either put these in one by one, which some television cooks might do, but I am not one of those cooks. So I just dump it in because I just want them cooked quickly and fast. And then I spread them out. I'm going to give them about a minute on each side because they don't take that long to cook. And when you are cooking shrimp, you just want to cook them until they get okay. And once they're okay, they're done. It is really easy to overcook shrimp. But to me, no shrimp is a bad shrimp. I like them sauteed, I like them deep fried, I like them chopped up in salad. Except those little baby shrimp, that's just too weird for me. I gotta stick with, a regular size shrimp. Cook away, pumpkin. And they're just hovering around. While those are cooking, we're gonna pull up our
Justin said, what flavor Saison?
The flavor Saison I use is the one with coriander and annetto. They do sell it without these. Actually, they sell it without the annetto. All right, but the annetto is what gives it that bright orange color to it, along with flavor. I think every house should just have it in there just because. Sometimes you just want to pump a flavor, something really quick, and you may not have anything else in the house.
Yep.
Oh, cook babies. All right, so while our babies are cooking, I'm going to put some watermelon on my little skewer. All right, my little thingy here. And we're going to get those lined up. And if you haven't already noticed, what we're simply going to do is when our shrimp is cooked, we're going to put that on the skewer with our watermelon.
Eric Patridge.
Hi, Eric. And for those of you that are celebrating, might I say happy Pride Month. I am so happy, even though I don't get to go to any parades this year, I'm still happy that June is here and we are able to celebrate Pride and all things that are Pride. I found a very cool shirt. I will show it off next week to you. Ooh, hello, little watermelon. This one's kind of big. All right, you're out. I gotta find the right one. All right, so I think our babies are ready to turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them a quick turn to finish them up. Turn over, little ones. Yesterday, I had the great privilege of hanging out with my daughter and son-in-law and my other in-law at the beach. And I'm not sure that you noticed, but I will show you in a quick second. Sometimes when you have not been at the beach in a long time, you forget just how much sunscreen you actually need. And then you look like this. All right, not the best look for me, so don't ask me why I look kind of like a Oompa Loompa. Just know that I didn't use enough sunscreen yesterday, and now I'm tender and red, and I'm paying for it, but I'm going to get back on track, so because I need my tan to kind of be even and right and not looking kind of ratchet, because right now that's how I feel. Like people are giving me the look like, what happened to you? You know.
Eric said hello and happy Pride. He said watermelon is a wonderful source of lycopene, a bright red carotenoid.
You are so smart, Dr. P.
Tomato.
Who
And
knew?
Kara said, LOL, I was going to say you looked a little pink.
Oh, I'm looking kind of well done. That's the best way to put it. And I have nobody to blame but myself. All right, because I just was not paying attention. I was sitting out on the beach, running my mouth. And the next thing you know, I come home and I'm thinking, why do I feel a little overdone? It can't be I was out in the sun too long because I know what I'm doing. And then, alas, I was overdone.
Sheila is watching.
Hi, Sheila. Hey, Gemini. Sheila, you're supposed to send me the link so that I can find those little things that can connect my mask to my glasses. Because those of us that wear glasses, as we go out publicly and wear masks, sometimes it's a little discombobulating. So if you could text me that information, that would be really great. Okay, so we have about 30 more seconds on these little shrimp babies. I'm just touching them to make sure. The good thing about seafood is that as it's cooking, it gets firmer and firmer, so you can tell if it's done by look. You can also tell if it's done by just pressing in, whether you're pressing in a set of tongs or a spatula of some sort. It becomes less kind of mushy as you cook it, so you know that it's cooking all the way through. You don't have to churn shrimp, but one time. All right, although some people flip it back and forth like a yo-yo, but it's really so quick to cook. You don't have to do anything. So we're gonna let that cool down for a second before we put it on with our watermelon. And while we're waiting for that, the other thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a quick watermelon cocktail. I'm all about the summer and sipping on something that's not heavy, but feels refreshing. So we're gonna make a watermelon vodka cocktail. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use our blender, and I'm gonna take this watermelon that I've cut up, and these little smaller pieces that I have, and I'm just going to pulse those up. First I gotta make sure that it's plugged in, because apparently electrical things don't work if they're not plugged in. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get that done.
Kara said, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back with
My
my
mind
mind
and my money and my money on my mind.
All right, so we have some watermelon and we need some alcohol. Woo woo!
Hold up.
All right, because you gotta have alcohol. I have way too many bottles
Grey
of
Goose,
alcohol in my.
Oh, Grey Goose.
So we're gonna use the orange Grey Goose today to add flavor, and we're also going to use the tangerine and wild strawberry Pellegrino, right? So first we need to open up our Grey Goose because she has not been opened yet. Ah, come on. Hello, pumpkin. Hello, mama. Missed you, waiting on you. Oh, smell that. Can you smell? Sierra's smelling right now.
Ooh.
Dakota's smelling right now.
Oh wow, that's really
Matt is
orangey.
smelling right now. Yes, you can have a shot
shot
if you are
too.
so inclined.
make
So
that
Matt
2.
needs a shot, so I'm gonna.
Hey, 2. Thank you, Barkeep.
You couldn't make an appointment for Matt. I don't know you.
Justin said, jump off.
Now you can't. So I'm gonna use my measuring cup to make it. Although you can kind of do it to taste. This is a really cool measuring cup, and we're gonna shake it up in a second. That I picked up when I was in my cosmopolitan making space because I wanted everything measured right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with 2 ounces of watermelon. Now you can run this through a sieve or run this through a strainer if you want to have it more finely feeling to you, but I just like throwing it in whole. So I'm gonna put about 2 ounces of watermelon juice. I'm gonna add 1 ounce of our Pellegrino. I'm not Pellegrino, push. And I'm gonna add 2 ounces of our vodka. And you can add more or less depending on what you're interested in. And then I'm gonna put some ice in. Because I want it cold, but I don't want it watered down with ice. And then you seal the top, you do a quick shake. And I'm gonna just taste it with a spoon because I want to know if it needs a little more watermelon. And it does, because I don't always like the back taste of alcohol. I wanna kind of not know that I'm getting buzzed. All right, and then we're gonna pour it into a cup. You can use any cup that works for you. This is the cup that works for me. I'm gonna throw and squeeze in a little orange. Drop that baby in there. And I left my other piece on top, so I'm not gonna go crazy looking for it, but I'm gonna just pour it out. And what I love about it is I love the color of it. And then I'm going to just toss a piece of watermelon in there. And that is your easy breezy summer watermelon spritzer. If you don't like it so heavy on alcohol, then you can make a mock one and just use your Pellegrino and your watermelon juice. You can add in fresh lime, fresh lemon, or fresh oranges to just really give it that pump up flavor. If you're not a vodka fan, you can do this with white wine and it comes out really tasty. But I'm gonna ask the alcohol drinkers in the room to give it a taste. Dakota is tasting now. You could come over to this side. And he is coming over to this side. If you like a cocktail that's a little sweeter, you can add some simple syrup to it. But it's one of those things that if you just take your base of watermelon,
Hey, this is dangerous.
if you take your base of
Juice.
watermelon and your base of vodka, then add in what works for
Matt,
you. If you want to add 7-Up into it, put some 7-Up into it. I did try it.
Oh,
All right, put it down.
Oh my gosh, can you just leave it here for a moment so I can put it up next to my bruschetta? Okay,
What's that?
I'm happy to make more. Now that our shrimp has finished cooking, this treat cannot get any easier. Here's a toothpick, here's a piece of watermelon, and here's a shrimp. That is it.
Theron Smith.
Hey, Theron! My happy, famous engineer. And you can let these cool down for sure. You know, it's certainly easier if you let the shrimp cool down. But right now, for time, we're just going to take this. It's really easy breezy. If you want to impress your honey bunny and make these, you can do that, because I think they would be duly impressed.
He said, hey.
Hey! Where are you, Theron? On the planet is what I'm asking. And come up, little shrimp. There you go.
Kathy D is watching.
Kathy Dong! Kathy Dong loves me, and the reason that I know this is because she sent me baked treats from Porto's Bakery in Southern California.
He is in Irvine.
Oh, I don't know if I should be happy or sad, Theron, but I'm glad that all is well with you. All right, and this is our shrimp bite. Cody, you want to come over and taste? Cody's our guinea pig for today.
Kathy said fancy.
Oh,
LOL.
yeah. And if you wanted to get it even fancier, Kathy, because I'm thinking, you can pick up a couple of pieces of basil.
Ooh.
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay, who?
Oh, and throw some basil on. But this is it. It's just a simple, easy breezy, light little bite. Try to bite. Cody's our bite person.
Yeah.
And when you put it in your mouth, you get the burst of the liquid from the watermelon. You get the little spicy pop from the shrimp. And if you want to add in some basil or something else kind of green, you could do that.
That's not good.
Thank you. If you want to, I guess you could put cheese on it, but you don't really have to. It's just a simple little baby kebab that you just whip up and you wow and amaze your friends. So when you are having your gathering, this is what it'll look like. Let me grab a clean plate first. I go into my trusty dusty closet.
Kelly Green is watching.
Hi, Kelly. And I'm just going to put these on. You can decorate a plate if you want to. So we're just going to do our shrimp. And we're going to...
Justin said Cody's going to eat a whole plate.
He is going to eat a whole plate. We're going to put our bruschetta. Oh, yes, yes. That's tasty. I'm going to throw a little bit of basil actually underneath to just add a pop of color. And I like basil just as it is. If you want to try something different you may not have tried before, give your basil a quick fry in some olive oil, and it's great just to eat as it is or to sprinkle over top of some baked chicken or something like that. And we have our drink. And that is our watermelon trifecta for today. You know, I love it. Pick up a watermelon. You can't really do this with any other kind of fruit. With, you know, I guess you could try cantaloupe if you wanted to try cantaloupe or something like that, but kind of stick to this so you got that really pretty white, green, and red thing going on.
Eve Lewis is watching.
Hey, Eve! Eve is our Philly connection, just badass to the bone. So I wanted to give a shout out because I have news of my family today. So first, let me tell you, my nephew Luke graduated from Cab Calloway High in Delaware this past week. And he is going to Temple University in September, and I'm very, very proud of him. My beautiful little niece Zaria graduated from 8th grade this week, and she is going to Bodine High School for International Affairs in September. My nephew Jackson graduated from middle school this week, and he's headed on to high school in the fall, but I'm not sure which one. And my niece Kara, who is just a genius, just received a scholarship that is going to pay for the rest of her grad school. Whoop, whoop! And I'm very excited for her because there is nothing like minimal student debt to make you feel really good. And so that is it for today. If you want the recipes, you can DM me, you can send me a text if you have my number, and I'm happy to shoot it out to you. But I want you to just have some fun, especially since lots of us are still working remotely. Or we just want something different. You might get a little tired of cooking chicken or picking up rotisserie chicken or ordering pizza, and you want to just kind of dress up your plate and just do something different. Hopefully this will give you some ideas to have fun with doing something different. I highly recommend, if you don't have balsamic vinegar in your house, pick up a bottle, reduce it down, and utilize it. If you just go on Google and Google balsamic glaze, it'll give you all the simple recipes, but typically it's usually vinegar and honey, vinegar and brown sugar, just cook down. And it's just fabulous to use on lots of things. So whether it's fruits, vegetables, meats, it's something fun to do. If you have the watermelon, get a whole watermelon, don't be scared of it. Throw it in your blender and then just drink it. You know, I use watermelon, I just take the watermelon, throw it in the blender just like you saw. And I use it to sweeten my teas, especially my lighter teas, the white ones and the green ones, instead of any kind of honey or sugar. And it tastes really good. I will take the juice and pour it into ice cube trays and freeze them, and then put those in a Ziploc bag to throw into a cocktail or something else where I want some fresh flavor.
Theron said Costco got the best tasting watermelons.
Who knew? Thank you, Theron.
And Eve says she's tired of all that, all the order and all that cooking stuff.
Look, we gotta figure out a way to get it done while we can. And so that is it for me today. I just want to remind you all to try to stay strong. We are in chaotic times right now. We are under attack. Those of us that identify as black, those of you who do not identify as black, be the best allies that you can be. And if you want to learn how to be a better ally, you can reach out to me and get some information. I'm happy to forward some books or some movies or other things that may help you as you strive to get woke. And let's just pray that this is a movement to make real change in our world, right? I'm going to do my part. I hope that you all do your part, and that we strengthen each other by the steps that we're all taking. I will see you all next week. Smooches.